guy, and where are you now? Yeah. You know who you are. But people out there have been salivating over Argentina as if their manager's face was made of steak. Argentina came into this tournament as one of the favourites, despite the fact they haven't won the thing since 1986. I mean, it's so long ago since they won a tournament. I don't know, even the likes of Fog Dad are probably just learning how to shave. I mean, lads, yes, they had just gone 36 games unbeaten. Great. I mean, the last time they lost a football match, Aladdin was in the cinema. And lads, Saudi Arabia's World Cup record, honestly, would make blood pour out your nose. They failed to win 12 World Cup matches in a row. And there's always a heavy spanking when they go to a tournament. I mean, in 1998, they were demolished 4-0 by France. At the 2002 World Cup, Germany beat them by an embarrassing 8-0. I mean, in 2006, again, a 4-0 defeat to Ukraine. And last time out in 2018, a 5-0 thumping against Russia on the opening day. I mean, Saudi Arabia are always the World Cup punching bag, and Argentina have managed to lose to them. But I mean, why are we surprised, I suppose, when their manager is just a West Ham flop? I mean, listen, I know he helped them win the Copa America last year, and he's supposed to be a rising, promising coach, but losing to Saudi Arabia at a World Cup for a world giant like Argentina, I'm sorry, but that's unforgivable. I mean, it's like a proud, successful actor like Al Pacino being outshunned by Adam Sandler in a scene. I mean, Lionel Scaloni, what have you done? When it comes to football, Saudi Arabia have been the media's bad guys for a year. I mean, to the point where before every press conference, Eddie Howe probably feels the same level of enthusiasm that he has for, I don't know, attending a funeral for his dog. All we've heard about Saudi Arabia for the last year is that they are poisoning the Premier League with the Newcastle takeover. But maybe, I think we've all maybe chosen to overlook the fact that the national team is actually pretty good, right? No, wrong. Okay, that's quick interruption to let you know that this video is sponsored by Manscaped. Now listen, it's nearly Christmas time, right? I can already feel nausea in my lungs because I just know that the television stations are soon going to be back to showing Elf. Hooray! But lads, let's cut to the chase. Santa Claus cares about his sack. I've heard he grooms it 4 times a day. Either that or Mrs. Claus chooses to chuck him out of the house. I mean, is he gonna cuddle then? Rudolph in the snow? But lads, you should also care. If Santa wants to groom, shave your pubic hair! Maybe don't do it in the chimney though. You might make your granny sick. But lads, the Manscaped 4.0 Performance Package has you covered. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 Trimmer, Weed Whacker Ear and Nose Hair Trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a nice little travel bag. The Lawnmower 4.0 features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents. It's got a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on and off switch, and it gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off. It's also waterproof. Although, please don't shave your chest in the rain. You'll make the elderly neighbors vomit in their soup. Anyway, Manscaped will give you everyone who watches this channel a huge 20% off plus free shipping when they use the code irishguy20 at checkout. So, link in the description. Go now! Anyway, back into the video. I mean, in 2022 alone, they have failed to beat the likes of Venezuela, Albania, Honduras, and Panama. Do they sound good to you? The fact that Argentina were given a 1-goal head start via a penalty and they still conspired to lose? I'm sorry, but someone needs to chuck all the blame on these players. I mean, was the focus not there? I mean, maybe Lionel Messi should have stopped sneaking off the photo shoots to play chess with Ronaldo and should have spent more time concentrating on how he's going to break down the Saudi defense. This is surely the greatest upset in World Cup history. Everyone was tipping Argentina to do something at this tournament. But I mean, let's be real. Look at their team. I'm going to say it. It's overrated. For a start, their defense makes me visibly ill. I mean, it reminds me of in 2014 when they had a top-heavy team that reached the final. I mean, it was sure, utterly dripping in world-class talent going forwards. But I mean, at the back, the likes of Martin Michaelis and Marcos Rojo, footballing bird brains, who were sloppier than Seth Rogen eating soup on the bus. Honestly, Argentina have always looked good going forward and always weak at the back. They're a bit like Johnny Bravo. You know that meathead who neglects leg day? I mean, today, Argentina's starting right back was Nano Molina, who I guess is Kieran Trippier's replacement at Atletico Madrid. But let's be real, this former Udinese fullback has all the pedigree of a bowl of horse poo. Nobody really knows much about it. I mean, your best defender on that pitch was Christian Romero, a towering centre-back, sure, but I mean, he's a Juventus reject who plays for Spurs. And beside him is Nicolas Otamendi, who is nearly a 35-year-old potato and plays in the Portuguese leagues. And left back, Nicolas Tagliafico. I mean, yeah, he sounds like a type of pasta, but he's an aging defender who's currently 8th in the French league with Lyon. And it's only a couple of years ago he was linked with Newcastle when they had Steve Bruce in charge. they chose to sign Danny Rose instead. And this guy's playing for Argentina when he was on the same shopping list as Danny Rose. This backline does not exactly inspire confidence. I mean, Christ, when Messi looks behind him and sees what he's working with at the back, the level of trust must be wafer thin. Reminds me like a wealthy couple going out for dinner and realizing that the babysitter you've just left is actually some 14-year-old emo who mostly sits on the couch drinking gin and barking like a dog. I mean, sure, Lisandro Martinez replaced Romero in the second half, but why? Why wasn't he on from the start? Did Scaloni think it was bad luck to have too many Martinez's on the pitch? I mean, did Scaloni walk in on Lisandro googling naked grannies on the internet? Were they then too embarrassed to look each other in the eye? I mean, did Martinez have a bout of food poisoning after eating sausage rolls he found in a Qatari bin? Surely, if Argentina are serious about winning this World Cup, then a defensive line like Martinez surely has to start, even if he is someone who's probably not allowed to ride roller coasters and needs someone to help him get cereal from the top shelf. Honestly, this starting 11 really makes me question whether Scaloni really does have earwax where his brain should be. You've got all this footballing royalty, luxury, silky, golden, up-and-coming footballers at your disposal, and you choose to stick Papu Gomez on the wing. He's nearly 35 years of age. I mean, he's currently employed in an embarrassing relegation scrap with Sevilla, and it's only started in 4 wins at club level in 2022. Argentina have all the young, silky footballing gold in the world, and you're choosing to persist with some grubby fella who used to play for Catania and Methodist Kharkiv. 6 of the players who were picked to start this match were in their 30s. 4 of them over the age of 34, including Angel Di Maria, who, yes, is an Argentina legend, but he is an absolutely over-the-hill nightmare. I mean, he's just some Juventus flop. He shouldn't be spending this month on the pitch at the World Cup. No, he should be off begging his master for a sock. I mean, when a sprightly, young and hungry Manchester City supersonic Julian Alvarez is in your squad, why didn't he start this match? I will never know. How did you not choose to just release him from the off? Just unleash him in a front 3 with Messi and Lautaro Martinez. Scaloni needs to absolutely prioritise Alves in this tournament. But I mean, we've seen all this before. I remember back in 2006, Jose Peckerman was the coach. Yes, he looks like someone who's dragged out of a coffin in a Tim Burton film. But I mean, he had generational teenage superstars like Carlos Tevez and Lionel Messi in his squad. And mostly left him to rot on the bench in favour of Javier Saviola, who even at 24 was past his best. I mean, in their quarterfinal defeat to Germany, which went to penalties, Peckerman literally stood on the sidelines for 2 hours and failed to introduce Messi from the bench, instead just chucking Julio Cruz onto the pitch. I mean, for those who don't remember, he was just Inter Milan's answer to Peter Crouch, a decent centre forward, sure, but in reality, about as exciting as dog poo on toast. So learn your lessons from 2006, Argentina. This needs to be Alvarez's World Cup. And don't forget that Sergio Aguero barely played in 2010. Why? Honestly, if you continue to choose to persist with players like Di Maria, I mean, no! Quite frankly, it is embarrassing that this man's face is even in the World Cup sticker book. He is an old man. He should be at home, knitting his grandson a jumper and watching the Antiques Roadshow on the couch. Ozzy, why was Scaloni starting someone like Messi up front in a rigid 4-4-2? I mean, you swear this is a team set up by Claudio Ranieri. If you're going to play this basic system, then why have you got wingers with a combined age of 78? I mean, I get that Martinez likes to play in a 4-4-2 with Inter Milan, but I mean, he's got Romelu Lukaku as his foil. Are you trying to make Messi a Lukaku? Scaloni, give your head a shake. This was such an elderly Argentina team. I mean, it was like something out of Father Ted. Even the goalie, Emiliano Martinez, is 30 years of age. And I know, considering he's burst onto the scene for Aston Villa recently, you'd assume he's an up-and-coming 21-year-old talent. No, he's 10 years off 40. He just wasted his 20s at the likes of Oxford, Rotherham, and Sheffield Wednesday. But I mean, he has been around forever. Crazy, he was in goal for Arsenal when they had to come from 4 goals down against Reading 10 years ago. Imagine telling that scrawny reserve goalie, someone who that night showed he had the reflexes of a beef stew. Imagine telling him that he'd one day be playing for Argentina at a World Cup. He'd have thought there would be more chance of him growing a uterus on his nose. This country needs to let go. Free yourself from aging pensioners like Di Maria and Otamendi and just build around young, exciting Argentine talent. Allow Messi to be your one luxury old man in the team, but get fresh legs around him instead of this tired, dull unit who honestly, against Saudi Arabia, last second half, when they had their backs against the wall, they had all the invention and creativity of a half-eaten slug. I'm gonna say this. A week ago, I did a video about how Alejandro Garnacho just broke football. Does somebody want to explain to me, in baby words, how he's not in the squad? Someone, tell me. I mean, did Scaloni catch him weeing on his cornflakes? Come on, I mean, it must be something bad, right? Because Garnacho is fresh, hungry, and raring to go. I mean, sure, apparently he's got a spoiled brat attitude. I mean, yeah, maybe when he does go out shopping with his girlfriend, I mean, if some annoying 11-year-old asks him for a selfie, maybe he does then spit in his eye. Maybe he is a horrible person, I don't know. But he's a damn good, inventive, exciting player. Why not bring him as an unknown wild card. I mean, lads, England brought a 16-year-old Theo Walcott in 2006, purely for, I don't know, because Svenio and Eriksson thought it would be appropriate to steal a child. Garnacho, he should be in the squad. Why are Argentina so terrified of trusting the youth? I mean, they're like the opposite of Willy Wonka. They're utterly petrified of kids. I mean, Enzo Fernandez is a 21-year-old midfield wonderkid playing for Benfica, and he's linked with Liverpool. Why is he not starting ahead of either Rodrigo de Paul or Leandro Paredes in his stale defensive midfield? The answers are obvious. Scaloni. Stop picking disinterested old players who honestly look so unfit. They look like they'll probably pull a stitch in the warm-up. I mean, Gomez looks like someone who probably coughs up phlegm whenever he reaches for the remote. I mean, admit it. Look yourself in the mirror and admit it. You overhyped Argentina. I mean, listen, I get the temptation. First off, Italy were on a similar unbeaten run when they went into Euro 2020 under Roberto Mancini, and they wound up winning the whole thing. But Argentina, there's always been a soft weakness in this country's national team for absolute years, to the point where Messi's had to retire more often than Tyson Fury. He knows how frustrating his own country can be. I mean, they probably still have nightmares from 2018, when, yeah, after squeaking through their group, they then went and got blinded by Kylian Mbappe's rapid pace. I mean, remember in 2014, when Argentina reached the final and they were laughing at their neighbours Brazil for conceding 7 to the finalists? Well, nobody ever mentions, but in 2018, both finalists of that tournament also stuck 7 goals past Argentina that summer. Nobody ever mentions that, but yeah, both France and Croatia absolutely severed the Argies with a sword. I'm gonna go a step further. I think Argentina were arrogant. Clearly they thought they could waltz into this match with Saudi Arabia and just frivolously dance around the pitch. They could beat these footballing minnows with their eyes closed, right? But instead they have arguably been given the biggest, the most embarrassing football sucker punch in their country's history. I mean, apparently this tournament was all about Messi meeting Ronaldo in the final, right? I'm sorry lads, no, the two of you, stick to reenacting the Queen's Gambit, please, because I promise you, nobody is getting that glamour stream final. I mean, you don't love it, right? But I love it. It's the Hollywood fairy tale. Two absolute goats meeting each other on the final stage. But I'm sorry. If I want to see two goats going at it, I'll just climb up a mountain in Wicklow, thanks. Lads, this would have been a letdown anyway. They're both nearly 40 years of age and both past their best. Do we really want to see these two giants finally meet in football's biggest match when they've got a combined age older than Jeffrey Rush? No, it would be like putting two Hollywood icons like Robert De Niro and Tom Hanks into a film together. Yeah. No, I don't want to watch it now when they both probably need help cutting up their food. I mean, you want these two to collaborate when they're in their peak. I mean, it was bad enough watching a 27-year-old Messi just sadly ghost to the 2014 World Cup final without doing much. But to see this version of him fail on an international stage as big as that, whilst on the other end of the pitch, Ronaldo just disappointingly lumbers about like Troy Deeney with abs. Yeah, no, not for me. Anyway, let me know what do you think. Let me know in the comments what do you think. And let me know in the comments how bad were Argentina. Let me know how would you fix them. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.